So when you're making videos, obviously the most important thing is the concept and the content behind it. So if you don't have good content, your videos won't do well. But if you do have good content, the next most important thing, according to a lot of creators, is to have high quality audio. So people tend to put up with lower quality video if the audio is high quality. So what I mean by that is if you're shooting 1080p and not 4K, but your audio is really good, people will definitely still watch it and you won't have any drawbacks. But if you're shooting 4K and your audio sounds like you're in a cave, people are not going to watch your videos. They're not going to like and engage nearly as much as they would if you had high quality audio. So in this video, I'll be talking about 5 microphones that are for YouTubers. And essentially I picked one microphone from each category that I think is the best. And there are 5 categories that will sort of encompass any type of channel you make. And so I really want to describe what each category is. And I also want to describe which microphone is best for you to help you decide before you go out and buy one. Because unfortunately, the way it works is when you're getting started and you're buying microphones, you tend to have to buy a bunch and then you use them and then you realize they're not so great. But then by then it might be too late to return it or just such a hassle to return it. So that's why I just want to recommend 5 of my favorite microphones that I use in my videos all the time. So before we get too far into this, if you are new here and you are looking to grow your online influence, start your growth now by clicking the subscribe button down below. Also click the bell icon so you don't miss the latest videos. So starting off with number 1 in really no particular order, this is the Blue Yeti, what I'm using right now. This one costs about $120, so the most expensive one on this list, but it definitely has the features to earn that extra value when you're buying it. So it has knobs on the front and the back. You can control the gain on this right on board on the microphone. You can also plug in headphones on the bottom. So you plug in a USB, which is the power supply and the recording. So you'll be recording on a computer. So you are tethered to a laptop or a desktop. That is one minor drawback to this. You can't have this, going totally mobile anywhere else. You're going to be tethered. But if you are in a studio, this is a great microphone. So you see this anywhere on, because you have a boom mount on the bottom, people use this on a boom. A lot of times you see this on podcasts because you have the different settings. So you actually have 3 little capsules inside in different directions. So for that reason, you can actually have these 4 different settings on the back on that little knob right there. And that can control how it's going to sound in different settings based on where the microphone is and what you're trying to do. So you'll see this, like I said, you're going to see this on podcasts a lot. A lot of people actually, a testimony for this is that people that do like the ASMR type stuff, the people that are, like the videos where people like whisper on their microphones, I don't know if you've seen those, but they use microphones like this. So that's just to give you an idea of, what kind of people use this. It's obviously a very high quality microphone. And for that reason, this is one that I recommend to anybody who is in a stationary studio or trying to make a podcast and wants very high quality audio. This is probably the best you're going to get for your money. All right, now the next microphone you can use is this one right here, which is the Zoom H1N. This is actually more than just a microphone as well, because this little thing you can actually use as a recording unit for a lot of different situations. So basically anytime you could use the Blue Yeti, you could also use this one. But this microphone is also great for traveling around and using, just as you can see here, it's battery powered. So I'll just take this off and show you right now. You can also use this microphone to walk around and interview people. So you can plug in headphones like I have right now when you're in a studio, or you can unplug them, go out in public and walk around. It has a battery inside of it, and you plug in your own SD card. So it's totally mobile. You're not tethered to anything. So that's why this is really, really good. You can change a lot of settings on here. You can see where your audio levels are. It's totally mobile. You're not bound to a computer. For that reason, I would say that this microphone might be the best one that everybody has to get. Even if it's not their primary microphone, it's one that every channel should have, so you can go around, you can interview people, or you can use it in your studio, or, as I'll show you in 1 second, you can also plug in other microphones into this and just record directly on this using like a lav mic. That brings us to number 3, which is the lavalier microphone, or the lav mic. Now, these are great for any time you're walking around or you just want a small microphone that's hidden. You don't want something in front of you, or maybe you're just really far away from the camera and you aren't near like a laptop, for example. So that's why you might want to use a lav mic. This is what I typically use in almost all of my videos, just because it's the easiest. It's very small, relatively discreet. Obviously, right now I have a green shirt on, so it's super obvious, but usually I wear like a button down or maybe like a Henley or something that you can kind of hide it in the buttons. And so when you're doing that, lav mics are extremely small and discreet. They're also very cheap. So this one was $20 or $25. Nate's is actually a Sony, which is also $20 to $25. The reason I prefer this one though is because this one actually has an adapter on it that you can plug into either a recording unit, which most already plug into, or you can plug into a smartphone, which is great when you're just getting started off, so you don't need to buy a recording unit. Now, I will say some of them come with an extension cable and you can plug into your camera and record directly on your camera through a lav mic, although I found the best audio quality tends to be when you record through the Zoom H1, which is again why I said everybody should get the H1. I think it's really just a great universal recorder and microphone that any channel could use in any situation, and it sounds good when you're using a lav mic, or it sounds good when you're using it as a standalone microphone. Okay, so next, number 4, we have an onboard phone microphone, and this is one that hopefully everyone already has. If you have a phone, you probably already have a camera on it, and you probably also have a microphone. And so when you're starting off on YouTube, if you want a really cheap way to start off, a phone microphone might be a decent enough camera and microphone setup for you where, it sounds okay because you're so close to it that you don't have to worry about, syncing the audio or buying anything else, any other equipment. At least for your first couple videos, if you're vlogging like this, it can be a decent enough microphone. So next we have the Rode Video Mic, which is a shotgun mic. It mounts on top of your camera and it records directly into your camera. So it's great because your video files all have the audio right on board. You don't have to sync them up. You don't have to clap in the beginning of a video. You don't have to worry about any of that because it's already synced up and it's almost, entirely hands-free. They're really, really easy to use. They have, decent audio quality, although sometimes if you are farther away, they do tend to capture a lot of ambient sounds, which could be a good or a bad thing depending on where you are and what you're trying to do. But this is the classic microphone for any kind of video where people are walking around a lot, or any kind of video where you're doing a vlog, or a lot of people even use these just in a studio setup, just like this. Okay guys, so if you are on a budget and you have a studio setup, you're probably going to want to use either a lav mic connected to your phone, maybe just your phone microphone, or maybe a shotgun microphone. This one's about $80, but there's also some like this one which are about $30. I recommend getting the $80 one. The Rode microphone, I'll link it down below, is a great microphone. Now, if you have a slightly better studio, I would recommend getting either the Blue Yeti or the Zoom. Everyone should have the Zoom, in my opinion, no matter what type of video you are making. Now, if you're walking around a lot, but the camera's staying still, you could use either a shotgun microphone or a lav mic. Obviously, the Blue Yeti wouldn't be good if you're walking around because it's pretty much stationary the whole time. Next, if you're really, really, really far away from your camera, you're going to want to use a lav mic. Like I said, they're pretty universal and they're fairly cheap. So if you're doing interviews, it's great to have everyone have their own lav mic. That way you don't have anyone louder or quieter in the video, and you can also adjust all the volumes later. And then lastly, of course, if you are absolutely on a budget or you just want the easiest, most hands-free thing ever, just use a phone, but make sure you have a decent smartphone. Right here is the Galaxy S10, which granted is more expensive, but the audio quality seems to be fairly decent. All right, guys, so that's all I have for you in this video. Comment down below which of these microphones you would like to use for your channel and why you want to use them. Let me know what kind of channel you have and any questions you might have associated with microphones. Like I said, Nate and I have been using lots of microphones. If you're looking to buy one, odds are we probably already bought it and probably already tried it. So let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.